With the Stanley Cup Finals right around the corner, there is an insane race for the last couple playoff spots in the Eastern Conference. And there's one team that almost seemed like they are sabotaging themselves and trying to lose and miss out on the playoffs. And I am, of course, talking about the Philadelphia Flyers. Welcome to Hattrick HQ. I am Mark Griffith. I'm the new host around here. Mark Pine, Kyle Curtis, Pine, Casey were nice enough to recruit me into the Hattrick HQ team. So if you see me around here, don't be surprised. You'll be seeing this beautiful face around here more often. I am the host of Flames Digest, and they've recruited me for this channel. I'm so happy to be here. But this video for the first bit is about the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers are trying to miss the playoffs? It is ridiculous. They are on an 8-game losing streak right now, and I have never seen a team look so determined to miss out on the playoffs. They looked like a lock for the playoffs at one point in the Metropolitan Division, and now they just can't seem to get it together one bit at all. They just got blown up by the lowly Montreal Canadiens. Slafkovsky got a hat trick, and it made Habs fans happy. Flyers fans are down in the dumps. But let's throw it back to March 23rd. Not even a month ago. This is just a few weeks ago. The Flyers were sitting pretty in third place in the Metro Division and had a little bit of a lead with a 4-point lead over the Washington Capitals and 6 over the New York Islanders. And things were looking great. Flyers fans were happy. You know, this season they weren't expected to do all that great. And they were doing so amazing. Well, let's go to today's standings. And, where are they? Oh, way down at the bottom there. The Islanders have skyrocketed up to third in the Metro, and they are looking scary right now. Washington are winning games on the backs of Ovi breaking records. The Pittsburgh Penguins with Sidney, Crosby, does he have one last gasp in him? And then Detroit is ahead of Philly as well. And Philly has played more games than all of the other 4 teams they are in a race against. So it's not looking great for the Flyers right now. John Tortorella was all, high and happy. He was looking like a Jack Adams candidate, a Jack Adams favorite, and everything has gone down the drain. Here's a little article, or a little snippet of an article I found from Broad Street. Ever since the Flyers lost Carter Hart, they haven't had NHL goaltending, which has played a big role in their downfall. However, the skaters deserve some sort of the blame too, as certain guys stopped producing what they were before this current slump. How do you break out of this bad stretch? Well, it is on Tortorella to first make sure that this team is motivated. He has to remind them that they are still in this. They have worked so hard to be in this position when nobody thought that they could They have worked so hard to be in this position when nobody thought that they could, so it would be great to see them finish it off. Yes, it would be a great story if the Flyers could make the playoffs this year. They were the Cinderella team for the most part throughout this NHL season, and now it's all coming down to a terrible end. And a lot of this is on John Tortorella. A lot of people are not big fans of this guy. I'm going to sit here and say I'm one of those people. I'm not a big Torts guy, and seeing him, kind of falter isn't the worst thing, and I think it makes a lot of NHL fans happy, but for those Flyers fans, it is terrible. But it is on him in a big way. Remember, not too long ago, he benched the new captain, Sean Couturier. This is less than a month ago. Sean Couturier, frustrated by John Tortorella's decision to bench him against Toronto. He did not play in that game, and guess what? The Flyers did not play well in that game either. And that was just a month after Couturier had been named captain of the Philadelphia Flyers. Obviously, he's the longest tenured Flyer. He definitely deserved that captaincy. Plays like such a Flyer, looks like such a Flyer. And that was such a wrong decision by Tortorella to bench the new captain, such a skilled player. Sure, Couturier isn't doing all that well this year, and there's other Flyers who aren't doing all that well this year either. But come on, Tortorella, that was the wrong thing to do. The wrong way to find a spark. And like it said in that article, the goaltending hasn't all been there. Ersson is not really good enough to carry this team to the playoffs, and it looks like they are going to miss out. So with that said, who is going to make it in the East in this absolutely insane race we have? It's a lot of fun. I don't remember there being a race like this in any of the past few years, especially since the playoff format changed, and it's very, very exciting. So let's pull up the standings once again. So as of right now, the Islanders have that third spot in the Metro on 87 points with 4 games to play. Washington is holding down that second wild card, as the first wild card is already locked up by the Tampa Bay Lightning. They are looking dangerous and like contenders once again. But Washington, They are just 1 point up on both Pittsburgh and Detroit, and they are all at 78 games played. The Flyers have played one extra game. They only have 3 remaining and are 2 points back of the wild card spot. But there are a bunch of games tonight that do matter for this race. In fact, all of those teams are in action. The Flyers, who we've been talking about, are in New York to face the Rangers, which is not easy. The one thing they can find a glimmer of hope in is that it is Jonathan Quick starting, who is having an amazing season, but, he is no Igor Shesterkin. That being said, that is going to be a very tough battle for the Flyers. They're going with Urson in net tonight, who somehow actually has a better record than you'd think, but his stats are not great. That'll be tough for the Flyers to break the losing streak. They're on 8. It could very well be 9 in just a few hours. Next, a huge one between both Pittsburgh and Detroit. As I showed, they are tied on points right now. Crosby is trying his absolute hardest to piggyback the Penguins into the Stanley Cup playoffs, but we will see. That is an absolutely massive game there. The winner of that game will most likely be in a playoff spot by the end of the night, and the loser looks like they may just be missing out, but there are still 4 games to play between those teams. And then at the bottom there, the Islanders. They are playing as well. I just realized I don't have Washington on this, but they are in action tonight. But as you can see there, the Islanders are facing Montreal. That's a home game for them, so that shouldn't be too tough, you wouldn't think. But hopefully the Islanders, they actually have something that the other teams don't have right now, and that is 2 solid goaltenders. They're playing Varlamov tonight. That's what you need late down the stretch and into the playoffs. And they also have Ilya Sorokin, of course. And then the last one I didn't include there is that the Capitals are playing against the Buffalo Sabres tonight. Buffalo was kind of in the race. They now have been eliminated for the 13th season in a row. But Washington, they are hot. It's crazy to see both Crosby and Ovechkin being the guys to really carry their teams on their backs right now and trying to get them into the playoffs. I think back to a guy like Andrew Hammond a few years ago who piggybacked the Ottawa Senators into the playoffs. That's the last time I can think of it was truly one player doing it all himself. A lot of people will say Taylor Hall the year he won the Hart and brought the Devils into the playoffs, but both Crosby and Ovechkin have a chance to make the playoffs this year. However, if I were to guess who is going to get in the East, like the chapter of this video says, the 2 spots remaining, I think the Islanders for sure, through that goaltending and just the great play of their big guys that they need, like Barzal and Bo Horvat and others. They are a lock for the playoffs, in my opinion. And who gets that last spot? Well, it's not going to be Philly. I don't think it's going to go to Detroit. So it's either Ovechkin or Crosby. And just to be a feel-good story, I'm going to say Sidney Crosby gets the Pittsburgh Penguins into that final wildcard spot for a meeting most likely with either the Boston Bruins or New York Rangers. But either way, I think those are the 2 teams that are going to make it. No matter what, it will be so fun down the stretch as we have, just about a week to go in this regular season. The last thing we'll look at in this video is that Noah Hanifin has signed with his new team, the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the Knights, they just got Thomas Hertl back from injury. He has played his first couple games here now for Vegas, and they are looking scary. They're going to be in the playoffs. I know St. Louis is still pushing, but it looks like Vegas will be in there. Their opponent is to be determined. It could be Vancouver, it could be Edmonton, it could be LA. There's a lot of different ways it could play out, but no matter what, they are getting healthy and scary as they get close to the deadline to the playoffs, I should say. The deadline was on my mind because Noah Hanifin is who they picked up, and he signed an 8-year deal at just under $7.5 million per season. Mixed reviews online from what I've seen so far. A lot of people think this is a slight overpayment by maybe $1 million or $500,000 per season. But either way, the Knights have picked up pretty much their defenseman of the future. This will be a perfect replacement for Alec Martinez. And Hanifin has already shown how good he is for the Knights this season. He does it on the power play. He does it on the penalty kill. He was doing that for Calgary back before they traded him to Vegas. And Vegas are looking dangerous heading into the playoffs, especially within that Pacific Division, where it seems like at this point it can almost go any way with who is the best team. Vegas did get destroyed by the Edmonton Oilers last night, but like I said, the playoffs, that's a different ball game altogether. So I think this is a great signing by Vegas. Slightly bit of an overpayment here, but not by much. I think in the long run, this will be a very good contract for Vegas and for Hanifin. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, you'll probably be seeing my face around here on this channel more. Thank you to the guys for inviting me onto it. I couldn't be more pumped to be on this channel. Really hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.